what's up, chosen ones? Alright, well, I think it's finally time to do my testimony. The devil's been working overtime to try to stop this one from coming out and making me not find the words. Bear with me, this is probably going to be a long one, because I got 37 years of life experience to try to fit into this video. But I guess I don't know, I started with a pretty normal childhood. It seemed to be a pretty normal childhood. Go to school, I'd spend a lot of time at my grandparents' house. My grandpa would pick me up from school, and I would go over there and I'd spend most of my time with them. My parents would pick me up after they got off work, but a lot of my younger years I spent with my grandparents. They kind of grew attached to me. As much as I think people don't like to say they don't have their favorites, I think I very well might have been their favorite. Just because of the amount of time that we spent together. And you know, I basically went to Catholic school most of my life. You know, go through the motions. As a kid, you don't really understand the bigger meaning of things, you know. But, you know, I played, and you know, from a young age, my grandpa had like a wood-burning furnace in his house, so we would go around and collect wood to burn in the furnace to keep the house warm. So I learned about hard work at a very young age. I was carrying 2x4s to the basement by the time I was 2, probably why my calves are so big. But you know, and then I grow up, and you know, I'm sure I was a little rascal, a little handful, a lot of ball energy for everybody around me. But you know, life kind of goes on, and then you know, my grandparents passed away, and that hit me pretty hard. Kind of was one of my first big wake-up calls and experiences with death. And I had a hard time processing that. My grandmother died on my birthday. I think it was my 19th birthday. After that, you know, life went on, and went to high school. I played a lot of sports. I played baseball, played football. I was like a normal kid, you know. I was out there causing trouble and getting into trouble, and you know, getting into things I shouldn't be getting into, drinking, smoking, you know, following the crowd, sleeping around. By the time college got around, I went to the University of Akron, and it was, you know, more about partying than it was about school and education. go to college. My dad owned his own construction company, so at a young age I started getting into various fields of construction. It was more of a building maintenance type of job, or commercial building maintenance. So I'd be doing something new every day. One day I'd be a concrete finisher, the next day I'd be a roofer, the next day I'd be fabricating metal, you know, the next day I'd be pouring concrete, or you know, the list goes on and on and on. So I kind of became a jack of all trades and a master of none. It's kind of how I used to say it. But I really liked it because I picked up a lot of experiences and skills that other people probably don't have. But came to a point to where I had to move on. My parents divorced while I was in college, and it was like kind of hit me kind of hard too. I ended up buying half the house I grew up in, as it seemed like the best way forward to kind of make it good for everybody. So me and my dad lived in the same house, and my mom moved out and actually moved in with my sister. And that also was pretty tough. You know, from that point, I kind of, you know, I kept working, working real hard for the family business, and it was getting to the point to where I would work, probably 60 hours in a week, and then I'd be getting like one 40-hour check at the end of the month that could barely pay my bills, and I'd have nothing left afterwards after breaking my back all month. And that was starting to get old. So I left that situation, and right around then I think it was a little bit after college, I started dating a girl that was, our families were friends. So like my mom was friends with her mom and dad, and they lived like right across the street from her pretty much. So like both families were friends, and it was just like a easy, we all got along, everything was going good. And then we had some rough times, and I think it was about 2 years we dated. Eventually we split up, and she was cheating on me, and I found out, and it crushed me. It absolutely devastated me. And then to top it off, nobody believed me. So even my own family members on my side didn't believe me. They took her side. Oh, she'd never do that type thing, But that turned into kind of my dark night of the soul. Crying myself to sleep every night, showing up smiling the next day, like wearing a mask, like I wasn't as devastated as I was. And that was when I really turned to God, because I felt like I had nowhere else and nobody else to turn to. Then shortly after that, I just wanted to get away. So I found a job traveling, doing sidewalk repair, basically concrete concrete repair works and sidewalks, and it was all over the country. I had to do at least, I would say, over 30 states I worked in during this, probably about, I want to say it was from like 2016 to 2021-ish. So right through COVID and everything, I was traveling. And I've seen a lot of the country. There's a lot of roads that I drove on and places I've seen that a lot of people probably aren't lucky enough to be able to see or get to do. But I was still hurt, and I was trying to fill my time with just staying really busy and drinking away and smoking away my to numb the pain. Looking back, it was definitely a special experience. I got to see a lot of cool things, but at the same time, I was living very, very unhealthily. Not sleeping as much as I should, working way more than I should. I mean, when you're out there living on the road, it's like, what else are you gonna do? I put in as many hours as I possibly could. But during all that, I made enough money to pay off the loan for my house and get the deed. Well, half the deed, as my dad still owns half. But then when I got back home from doing that job, as I was staying out 4.5 weeks at a time and coming home for like a long weekend, like 4 days or something, and that was getting extremely old. Like my body, I couldn't do it anymore. I was killing myself. And I want to say I think it was about 2021, I just cold turkey stopped drinking altogether. No desire to drink anymore. I don't want to hear the stories of the stuff I didn't remember I did, and the regret of, hey, I shouldn't have did this, or whatever, bad decisions, and just killing yourself. Drinking that much is not too much worse you could be doing to your body. And at that point, I started getting into, I think Kim Clement was one of the first ones I started watching that really turned me to God real close. Made me feel like maybe God did have a calling on my life. So I started reading the Bible every day. Started turning to Him when times of ups and downs. And I started relying on God. And He became the only one who I felt like had my back. And I knew I had to learn as much as I could by reading, watching, and using my eyes to see and not just to look. And I think it was about 2023, 2022 was a year where that was probably my true awakening, when I started hearing God's voice, in my life in songs. He would talk to me in music. He'd talk to me by what came on TV at that specific time. Or I started, it'd be like I'd be asking myself something in my head, and then a video would pop on right in front of me with the answer. It's almost like, who else could it be? But God's timing is perfect. And there's a lot of days that I know I didn't have the strength to keep going or to keep my head above water. And I know it was God who held my hand and kept my head above water on the days that I couldn't do it myself. I believe he put a mark on my life. And he's got good plans for me. So in about 2023, I started my own company with inspiration from God. Called it Christ Fishing Company. Fish the land. With the goal of trying to live like Christ, maybe even live on the road in vans, going to places where we were needed, or even big news events, preaching forgiveness, overharden your hearts against your enemy, love instead of hate. Going through the dark night of the soul, I learned sometimes you don't have to just turn the dark into light. Sometimes you have to be able to turn the light into dark because the light's not shining the way it should. So it needs to be corrected. You have to learn how to be balanced. The masculine and the feminine. I've always had a huge heart. That's, people look at me and they probably wouldn't think that. They probably look at me, and especially in today's world, they put you in a box right away, first glance at you. They probably assume I was like some biker kid, or people from my past probably just think of me as still a drunk, or, a pothead hippie or whatever. But, I'm not that person anymore. That person's long gone. I just try to grow a little bit every day and be a little better every day. None of us are ever going to be perfect. But, I feel like some of the dark times I've had to go through, and I've made it through stronger on the other side, has turned me into a brightly shining, multifaceted diamond that a lot of other people I don't think would have survived the process to make that diamond. And I know it's because God's been there with me. Even the bad things that happen in your life, they're all working towards your good. Everything that I thought kept me down or destroyed me, it all made me stronger. It all made me who I am today. And it's always a work in progress. The walk's never done. We're never gonna be perfect. I'm never gonna always say the perfect words. I'm still gonna say wrong words. But you gotta learn to learn from those, and learn when you're wrong, and to adjust. You know, you gotta learn when to use the nurturing and when to use the fire, you know. It's all gotta be in balance, the dark and the light. I feel like I'm learning now that my experiences are gonna help other people. I'm gonna be able to help others walk through the dark because I've already walked through it. And I could show them the way to come out the other side, to come to the light, and to be stronger for it. I believe that's what my calling is to help people heal the way God's helping me heal. I've been through just about every dark situation you could think of. Probably even more that I don't even know about. God has taken care of for me. But I've learned to let go of my stresses, my anger, and just give those things to God. Revenge. I'm not in judgment. People do me wrong, I don't even pay no mind anymore. Just let it go. Give it to God. And keep moving forward. But God's telling me, stop being so serious. Find the inner child. Be a kid again. Have no worries, no fears. Don't overthink. Just let it flow. Have that childlike wonder again. So, I want to say it was about 2 years ago now. I had a pretty, I guess we'll call it a intense battle with the family. I told them to repent and get right with God. Probably a little harsher than I would have liked to tell them. I'm sure I could have been a little gentler looking back. And they ended up saying I was crazy, put me in a mental institution on my 35th birthday. I spent it in a psych ward with doctors that think that men can get pregnant and men can be women and women can be men, but I'm the crazy one. Shows you how backwards some of everything in this world is right now. I mean, at the top of everything, governments, institutions, countries, businesses, it's all darkness that's running those right now. And it's coming to a point to where that's coming tumbling down. We ain't gonna deal with that no more. We're gonna use our light to expose that darkness. And we're gonna replace the darkness that's hovering on top of all this stuff including the churches and everything, the Vatican. And we're going to replace it with light. We're here to be the lightning bolt that fertilizes the soil and plants the new seeds for the new earth. As all the systems of darkness come crumbling down, it's been a long journey. It's been some tough days. It's been some really good days, as I'm sure there has been for all of you too. You just gotta keep going. Like I said, try to get a little better every day. And, you know, it took me a long time to kind of let go what happened between me and my family and just forgive them and not carry that weight anymore. Have no desire for vengeance or just any of that. Give it to God. If I was done wrong and something needs to be exposed, God will take care of it. It's not my job to do so. It's not my job to judge. I need to just keep living my life and helping others go through what I've gone through and come out the other side stronger. I have the ability to show people how to do that because I've done it. And I think that's my true calling. I know God chose me. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be here. And the devil wouldn't have came after me so hard. I'm sure I've glossed over some things. Like I said, it's hard to fit 37 years of experience into one video. But I think I touched base on a lot of it right here. As I've grown spiritually, I'm starting to learn about my gifts, my God-given gifts, my healing gifts, my ability to transmute energy, light into dark, and dark into light, and when to properly use either. How to be balanced in the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine. Not to just give my heart to anybody who doesn't deserve it, and know when to protect it. It took me a long time to kind of realize that other people don't see things the way I do. I thought kind of everybody had similar experiences as me, saw things similarly, as I do. But, it took a long time for me to realize that they just don't. Many don't, and they never will. And it's even a lot of Christians, like, they believe, they go through the motions, they go to churches, but they don't believe in the magic. They don't believe in the spirit. And a lot of them still think that you gotta go to church to find Jesus inside the four walls of a church. You gotta look within yourself. It's the only place you're gonna find him. Well, not the only place, but you have to find him inside of yourself before you start seeing him everywhere else. This video's been hard to make. It's been a rough couple years. I'd say I kind of went lukewarm because of routine. I was working for the Cleveland Metro Parks for a couple years, and you know, you get into those routines, whatever every day, and just left no time to do this, to spend time with God, to do what I'm really passionate about. And the things that used to make me feel happy and passionate, and that used to motivate me, no longer do. The things people chase, I no longer chase. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. All I know is I want to stay true to God and the calling that he put on my life. Help bring about this change on this earth, which is what I'm here to do. I can see God's hand all over my life, and I know I wouldn't be here without him. One of my first jobs, for a little while I was rolling for Uber. Actually, this was after working with my family company again for a little, maybe about a year after doing the traveling job. And the same thing was happening. I wasn't putting in way more hours than I was getting paid for them. On time anyways. Like, I eventually always got my money, but it was always trickling in. But I started rolling with Uber. I think it was my eighth day with Uber. I got carjacked. I got 5 guns pointed at my head. I got hit in the back of the head with the gun, and they pretty much stole the car, stole my phone. But I know God was looking out for me that day. As I see stories every day. Actually, there was a story like just 2 weeks ago on the exact same street that it happened to me in East Cleveland. Somebody got shot in the face rolling for Uber. So it's still going down. By the way, don't do any of those Uber or Lyft jobs. You're literally paying them to go to work. It's ridiculous. And shortly after that, maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, I was, not in a good place. Still smoking. I'm spending every day smoking and just not being productive, not spending the time with God that I should, not doing what he called me to do. And I got something serious going on with my right foot. Maybe like a couple months ago, I could not lift my right foot, and it scared me so much that it kind of woke me up to everything that was going on around me. And kind of brought me right back. I think that's why God chose me. Because I always turn back to Him, even if I slip up for a season. He knows my heart, my true intentions. He knows that I'm pure, authentic, genuine, which is lacking in today's world a lot. All these fake friendships, all these masks people wear to hide who they really are. I have the ability to see right through most of that stuff. It's hard to get a lie past me. All I know is we just gotta keep growing every day, chosen ones. It's our job to help others. And they have to be able to want to help themselves. There's only so much we can do. They have to do it. We can't do it for them. It's gotta be a shift of the heart, a shift of the mind. Like I don't fit in with society anymore. Like I said, I don't. Same thing that motivates people, the partying and the fake friends and the two-faced people that smile at your face and talk crap behind your back. I do my best to not rack up karma, but dish it out. I think we've all, done the smile at somebody and then talk crap behind their backs before. That's certainly not part of my ways anymore. Every day I just try to be a little more Christ-like. Keep my vibration high. My third eye open. And my chakras in alignment. A lot of people don't believe in the magic part of side of things. Hey, what's up? Well, camera died, so I guess we'll call this part 2. I don't even remember where I left off now. It's like the next day. But I think I was talking about how people don't believe in the magic. They don't believe in the spirit realm. There's a lot of people that think, stuff like astrology and numerology and all this stuff. Can that stuff be used for bad or whatever and be considered a cult? Like, yeah. But God made all that stuff. So understanding it's very important. Being able to understand energy. That childlike wonder, believe that dragons could be real, that giants were real. A lot of people don't believe that stuff. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, so if you look at the map where they found the most giants, Ohio's like ground zero. Skeletons of over 8 feet. You can convince me that that stuff ain't real. I think technology's been going backwards. Or just being controlled. I think the civilizations they knew about free energy. And they hide all that stuff from us intentionally. For control. For money, for greed, for power. And I think a lot of these churches and stuff like that, I'm not saying that the people that go there are bad people or anything like that, or that they're not trying to follow Christ, but I think they're under an illusion if they think that some of these people running these churches aren't doing the most devilish things you can do behind closed doors. Epstein stuff. I think the Vatican has trafficked more children and more people in the past 1,000 years than you could ever imagine. I don't think most people can see stuff like that, that's what I mean by turning the light, being able to turn light into darkness when you need to. You gotta be willing to fight to slay these demons. Gotta be a warrior. We're gonna be the ones to bring the change. Opens people's minds and their eyes. That's why we're here. Yeah, like I said, I know there's stuff that I left out of here that probably add to the story. I'll probably have to maybe I might have to make a whole new group on the YouTube channel for just my testimony, as it'll probably be more videos than just this one. But I know God chose me. I'm gonna do everything I can to fulfill that call. Even if it means out things in my life that I once loved that no longer serve me and my purpose or God's will. Been about 2 years since I made a video for a full-length video that's not just like a short for YouTube. It's because I haven't been able to find the words, or I haven't felt like I needed to learn more. I think that's what God was trying to tell me. It's okay to make mistakes sometimes or not be 100% right. And you still gotta go do it. If you're wrong, take ownership of that and be better. It's the story of life. That's what a lot of people have trouble facing themselves in the mirror, looking inside. They can't be alone because all those demons surface, bad stuff surface, and they never took the time to heal from that or reflect on that, repent from that, and try to get better. Try to do better. I know even if I slip up, God will be right there to lift me back up. Because He's merciful. He loves me. He loves all of us. And He wants you to love Him. And to walk like Him. That's a choice. It's free will. You have to want to do it. It's in your heart. Everybody's going to want to do it. They're going to want to stay in their wicked ways. Greed, envy, lust. That's one I probably didn't really touch on too much, was lust. That's my experience. That's probably the hardest one to deal with as a guy. Especially with the way the internet came out and all this, like growing up, I was like the first generation that kind of saw the internet expand to what it is. You know, I'm sure, just like everybody else, you know, I had like my time where I was on porn all the time and stuff like that. I gave all that up. Look at the inner child. Don't judge people. You know, I'm not as attracted to physical beauty as I used to be. I'm more attracted to people's hearts and their minds. I feel like I'm very visual. Might be why I pick up on things other people don't pick up on, or see things that other people don't see. Yeah, but all I know is keep smiling, keep moving forward, be a little better every day. Everything's going to work out for our good if we walk with Christ. Well, I think I'm going to leave it there for this one, Light Warriors. Stay positive. Keep your head up. For every dark night, there's a bright morning. Life goes on. Let's expose this darkness. Light it up. Let's be the change that we all need. All right, Light Warriors, until the next time. Have a great day. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Be a little better every day. See you in the next one.